Hello, my beauties and bees. It is Bree, and I'm here to bring you just a little bit more eco news today. Unfortunate news, as the case may be, because our planet is going through some detrimental changes. Detrimental changes. Let me elaborate on what I mean. The world's biggest iceberg is moving in Antarctica for the first time in 30 years. The world's biggest iceberg, larger than the state of Rhode Island, is on the move for the first time in over 3 decades. Measuring 4,000 square kilometers, that's 1,500 square miles for my American friends, and some 400 meters, that's 1,312 feet thick. The city-sized iceberg A23A was created in August 1986 when it was calved from the Antarctic coastline. The floating ice chunk quickly became ground in the muddy seafloor and stayed put in the Weddell Sea. Now, satellite images have shown it has moved significantly over the past few years, according to the British Antarctic Survey. Like most icebergs of the Weddell Sea, it's expected that A23A will drift along with the Antarctic circumpolar current and eventually end up in the South Atlantic Ocean, BBC News reports. Eventually, like all icebergs, it will melt away to nothing. The reason for the iceberg's sudden voyage is yet to be understood. I asked a couple of colleagues about this, wondering if there was any possible change in shelf water temperature that might have provoked it, but the consensus is the time had just come. Dr. Andrew Fleming, a remote sensing expert from British Antarctic Survey, told the BBC. Do you want to see the video? Let's see. This is from November 24th. Can we blow this up? Let's see it moving there. There it goes. Headed north. Yep, all the way across there. So that's its journey. Continuing on. It was grounded since 1986, but eventually it was going to decrease in size sufficiently to lose grip and start moving. I spotted first movement back in 2020, added Fleming. The word iceberg stems from the Dutch word Ijsberg, which means ice mountain. Generally speaking, icebergs that form in Antarctica are larger and flat-topped in shape, while those in the Arctic that calve from Greenland are much smaller and often irregular shaped. About 90% of iceberg's mass is typically below the water's surface, hence the expression tip of the iceberg, used to describe situations where only a small visible part of a much larger problem is apparent. A23A briefly lost its title as the world's largest iceberg in May 2021 when A76 detached from the Ronne ice shelf in the Weddell Sea. This initially measured 4,320 kilometers or 1,667 square miles, but it later fragmented into 3 pieces. Even A23A is relevantly small compared to the biggest icebergs of all time. This colossus was spotted in November 1956. As this was before satellite imagery, the exact size isn't known, but it was estimated to be 335 kilometers long and 97 kilometers wide. 208 by 60 miles. with an area of 31,000 square miles or 12,000 or 31,000 square kilometers or 12,000 square miles. That's 3 times larger than Hawaii's Big Island. That's a huge iceberg. I imagine that changed the ocean's chemistry for a few decades. Yeah. Anyway, so that's a little bit of eco news. Got this giant flat-topped iceberg breaking free from the Weddell Sea to go on an adventure into the South Atlantic. We will see what happens with that. So thank you for sticking around for eco news. Please remember to be kind, take care, and we'll see you next time.